Iron Man 2 review by Wake Up. Okay, straight off the bat, the good points about Iron Man 2. The relationship between Nick Fury and Iron Man was very interesting to watch. It was very enjoyable. Samuel L. Jackson has nailed that character. He's given me exactly everything that I wanted in that. I loved the Iron Man in the suitcase, where that whole scene was very, very cool and a joy to watch also. I think that's about sums it up for the good points. Oh, no. Mickey Rourke and Sam Rockwell, they were very good. Their characters were very interesting to watch, especially watching them together. I think Mickey Rourke was sorely underused in this movie. They could have done a lot more with a guy like that, and those two. Okay, my bad points about this movie, straight off. If you have a very short attention span, you will love this movie. There are plenty of flashing lights. It's kind of like watching Speed Racer. Another big problem that I had with this movie is, why is Jon Favreau in the movie in the first place? He's supposed to be the director, and yet he's cast himself as like an actual character with like a story arc, relatively. I was just wondering whether he actually gets 2 paychecks because of this, one as a director and maybe one as a cast member. He even gives himself a fight scene at the very end, which is just it's ridiculous. There's like a proper 10-minute in-depth fight scene with a thug of basically like a bodyguard, and in reality, Jon Favreau, mate, I'm sorry, you're fat. You would never be able to take a guy like that. It just really confused me, and it took me out of the movie a lot. The racetrack scene, right? Okay, Whiplash, Mickey Rourke's character, that really confused me with the electric whips that he had. I mean, you saw these whips ripping through cars. Yeah, so surely that would, when he attached the whips to Iron Man's neck, that would have decapitated him. Like, unless the suit's made out of a special metal, that wasn't really very well explained, and the consistencies didn't really work. Another thing that I had problem with on Iron Man 2 is the fact that everything that I enjoyed about the first Iron Man movie, how everything was done for a reason, suit-wise, wasn't done with War Machine. I mean, when the 2 Iron Men fight, that was a really interesting moment. However, you had the guy playing War Machine, Don Cheadle, being able to hover and use the flight simulator or something. Now, Iron Man, in the first movie, he couldn't even do that on the first times, but yet Don Cheadle can? It doesn't make any sense to me. Another thing about the Don Cheadle playing War Machine thing, right? Even if Terrence Howard was in this movie playing War Machine, it would still suck. Because the War Machine, in my opinion, was put in like a Venom character. They didn't really expand it, and it didn't do anything for me. Not really. What else do we have? It was very similar to the first movie, right? In the last fight scene, I mean, it was a waste actually, because I was really looking forward to seeing Whiplash not as a giant robot, which is basically, I'm sorry if the game's away here, but it was like watching the same movie kind of done again. It was a bit shockingly bad actually. I enjoyed the fact with Tony Stark and his the poisoning storyline. That was really interesting. However, being able to create a metal from light, I didn't really get that. And just bear this in mind, I'm not an Iron Man fan. Not really. I haven't read any of the comics. I'm not a fanboy. I was just viewing this thing as a movie. I enjoyed the first movie an awful lot more. If you enjoyed the first movie, do not watch the second one, because everything that was so good about the first movie, all the humour, the punchlines, which were actually really quite clever, all the jokes, you lose on this one. There was only one decent joke which I really enjoyed, which was the Iron Man kid, this guy wearing the Iron Man mask going pow up against the robot, and then you see Iron Man come jumping down next to the kid and then shooting him and saying nice job. So go watch this movie if you have a very short attention span and you like watching bright lights. Otherwise, just wait for the next piece of Hollywood garbage to come out. That's it. Bay out, Spielberg in, and that's Wake Up's review. Cheers for listening.